Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the video. This is a paid request for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, video game stuff, what have you. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2023 film Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth, based on the trailer he did for the 2007 film Grindhouse, where it was two films, Robert Rodriguez doing Planet Terror, Quentin Tarantino doing Death Proof, and then they have fake trailers. And some of them, like Machete, turned into movies that I quite frankly did not like. But the best of those trailers were, I would say it was the Thanksgiving trailer. Don't was a funny trailer as well, but Thanksgiving, I think for a lot of people, was the best fake trailer. And then all these years later, Eli Roth finally got to do the film. Now, I will be honest, I didn't really have much interest in watching the film because I'm sitting there going, okay, I don't know why you don't have Michael Biehn in it, because he was in the trailer, and now you have Patrick Dempsey, which I like Patrick Dempsey, but he's no Michael Biehn. But he's the sheriff. It's not filmed in that Grindhouse scratched film style. And I'm like, Eli Roth, really the only film of his I've liked is Death Wish with Bruce Willis. I do like that film. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I know some may say, how do you screw up a slasher film? But you can. Final Exam. Terror on Tour. Rob Zombie's Halloween. There's a lot of ways you screw it up. But despite some issues I have, I gotta say, I liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. It was a fun slasher film. If you want a new slasher film, it's an entertaining time. It has some good kills. It goes at a fairly fast pace. It doesn't get bogged down, so it doesn't feel too boring. I don't think all the humor works. I think the dialogue is sometimes going to a Rob Zombie vein where, well, or Eli Roth and Cabin Fever, where throw out as many curse words as possible. And if you don't use curse words, you gotta do it with style, like Richard Pryor or Andrew Dice Clay. The cast of the teens, they're okay. I've seen better. I've seen worse. I wouldn't say I really cared a whole lot about the characters. Average, maybe at best. I mean, they're no Amy Steele or Lisa Wilcox or Ashley Lawrence or various other. It's definitely not the cast from Scream or various other movies that have had better casts or better characters, but they're okay. They're average. They're serviceable. Some I like more than others, but I mean, there's nothing to the characters that really stands out other than the acting's fine and the characters that we're supposed to like are okay. They're just okay. And pretty much the gist of the plot is we're in Massachusetts. We're having Thanksgiving. The store's going to be open that day. The store's owned by Rick Hoffman, which I recognize the guy. He was the guy in the first Hostel where when Jay Hernandez trying to escape, he meets the American customer. It was like, should I do it fast or should I do it slow? Yeah, I should take the gun. No, fuck that. Like, I see him in a few stuff. It's nice to see him in here. And also it's nice that eventually he's not a bad guy. Like, you think he's going to be just the typical prick he plays, but he actually turns out to be a decent father to our lead character. So I like that. That was a nice change of pace. I do like that actor, and nice to see him play what you think is going to be the typical, but be a bit more likable as the story goes on. I actually kind of wish he was. He's in the film a decent amount, but I kind of wish he was one of our main characters. I think that'd be interesting. Change of pace. that a father-daughter teaming up against the killer. Again, that'd be just a nice change of pace, but that's not this movie. But during Black Friday, there's the Black Friday crowd, and they bust in, and there's a massacre that happens, and it's a pretty wild scene. You did get some pretty nice makeup effects. All this chaos, some deaths occur. It's 1 year later, and now someone wants revenge, and they don't wear this pilgrim outfit. They don't wear this John Carver mask. John Carver was a pilgrim from back in the day, and this person's going to take revenge. You have our lead girl, who's the daughter of the stone owner, Rick Hoffman. You have her friends, and like I said, her friends. You have the one guy who's a douchebag who filmed the thing on his phone and uploaded it, even with a subscribe like. Sadly, I could see that happen today, so I can't say it's not realistic, but he is a fucking douchebag. You have the black guy. His name is Scuba. Not Cuba, Scuba. He was fine. He was probably one of the more likable guys. I would say of the 6 teens, he was the most likable guy. So you have those two. You have Scuba's girlfriend. You have our Lee's boyfriend. He was fine. I didn't mind him. Pretty much all we know is that he's a pitcher for the baseball team. Let's see, you have the douchebag, and then you have the forgot who the hell the 6th person was. But anyway, 6 of them sneaked into the store because again the leads, her father owns it. People in the crowd notice it. What the fuck? This event occurs. And then I say it's a year later, and pretty much people get picked off one by one. And that's kind of what you're waiting for. You're just waiting for the next kill scene, the next gore scene. And that's why I say it's a fun movie. But just that. Just in between the kills, there's not a whole lot else going on in terms of the plot or the story of the characters. They try to put in this love story triangle, and I'm sitting there going, are you trying to rip off My Bloody Valentine? This is a holiday, and you have the new guy the lead girl is seeing. Then you have the old boyfriend that's been gone for a while and comes back. And then you have this tension where she doesn't know who to trust and who she's going to be with. I'm sitting there going, you're trying to do this love triangle, and it was done a lot fucking better in My Bloody Valentine. So that whole thing didn't work. Because her current boyfriend, there's a point where he just disappears for a good chunk of it and becomes such a non-entity. So he doesn't really become... It seems like there's a little bit of build-up to his character, but I don't know. I will say this. Again, the acting is fine. The pacing has an energetic bounce in a step that it makes the proceedings never boring. There is some good gore in there. There's some good kills, good makeup effects. Even a little bit of nudity, a little bit. The Patrick Dempsey, I did like him as the cop, as the sheriff. I don't know why. Maybe Michael Biehn just decided no, or something else happened. And there's some fun humor, whether in terms of the gore, in terms of other stuff that does work. But it's one of those where I liked it, but I wouldn't put it in my slasher classic category. Compared to films nowadays, yes. Sadly, I would say it is the best horror film I've seen this year, and that alone says how shitty this year has been. To get more into spoilers, the Black Friday portion was a lot of fun. People tearing into it, but also that's where you get the dialogue. And the dialogue, again, streams kind of the Eli Roth still hasn't overcome that hey Brewski, hey bro type of, I don't know what you call it, doucheness. They was showcasing his writing of characters like Cabin Fever and even some of the characters in the first portion of Hostel. And he like the way the crowd talks with each other, even the way some of the kids talk to the crowd. So I don't think the dialogue is definitely the strong point in this movie. There's still that Eli Roth douchiness in the plot. Eli, just don't write your fucking movies, man. Please. You cannot do dialogue to save your fucking life. You cannot. This again proves you cannot do dialogue to save your life. Do not put the pen to the paper, please. But the energy of the Black Friday craziness, Gina Gershon is in it, but not for long. Because they all see the 6 kids that snuck in. The people outside cause a riot. They go in, they bust the door down. There's spoilers from here on in. I think it's worth a watch. If you want a slasher film with some fun kills, competently directed, with a bounce of energy, so it's fun, it's entertaining, it's not boring. It's just not something I would watch again, but it was fun for what it was. But they go in and people are going crazy, and it's obviously being hyper. Although some of this would sadly happen in real life, but as much as people go crazy on Black Friday, there's a bit where 2 people have shopping carts and they both hit a person and they don't notice, and Gina Gershon's hair is caught on it and they pull it and a piece of her scalp's pulled. Good makeup effects, nice ooh shit moment. There's a guy bleeding from his neck from a wound, and a guy just takes something from him. I know there's crazy shit on Black Friday. I would like to think that even then, someone would stop to help the person. So, but at the same, it's a movie that you're not supposed to be taking that seriously. Especially when we look at some of the death scenes, you could tell it's not meant to be taken too seriously. So it's kind of in that realm of just enjoy it for the fun of it. But I do like it. It definitely gives a sense of chaos, like you would in Black Friday. Just amp it up to 11 with a little bit of gore in there, and like I said, that's why I'm like, okay, I appreciate the energy, the vibe of it. I get the energetic vibe. I keep using that word because I do think that's what Eli Roth did bring to this, to give a positive. So as the movie goes on, it's a year later, and the one kid who was the lead girl's boyfriend, he left for a while because during that Black Friday, his hand got fucked up and broken during it. Which I thought, I didn't mind the way they did that. Maybe go, ooh, shit. I like the way that was done. The John Carver mask, the Pilgrim, it was fine. It made it be a little bit different. There's not too many Thanksgiving slasher films. The kills, they were entertaining to watch. And you also see why he picks out the victims, because they were the ones that fucked up people during the Black Friday. So there's a part of you that goes, well, they kind of did what they deserve. So there is that part that's like, maybe I do want to root for the killer in this. Like the old fat lady bitch that helped cause Gina Gershon's death. And I like Gina Gershon, so I'm like, yeah, killed this bitch. Her face gets stuck to the cold, and she peels it off. Some nice makeup effects, and one hand the skin peels off. Now, there is some stupidity in the plot. She locks herself in the freezer, and her face is fucked up so she can't stand on the phone, and she's trying to swipe her phone, but again, a piece of her skin was off. But then I'm sitting there going, lady, you got your other hand. Wipe it. Use your other hand has skin on it, lady. You know, use your other hand, the one with the skin. I mean, I don't use this hand a lot either, but I boom, boom, swipe. So I get it. It's a movie, but it's 2023. Even for a slasher film, can we write a little bit smarter? A little bit. And then she goes out of the fucking freezer for no good reason. I'm like, just clean your phone up and use your hand with the skin on it. Swipe left, bitch. But whatever, she's a dumbass. She deserves to die. She's not. You kind of want her to die, which is what she did on Black Friday, so fine. She's an idiot. And then this, I will say this did make me laugh. I think that was the purpose of it. She runs out. The killer's in a car, hits her. She's pushed to a dumpster. The dumpster top falls, and it cuts her in half. Now you see they're going, well, fuck, this dumpster, what is it, made of razors? Razor blades? Like, it just cuts her right in half. Now, it's a cool effect, nice practical effect. It made me laugh, and that's the purpose of it. Again, the top of a dumpster falling down, I'm sure it would hurt you, maybe kill you, break your back, but again, I don't know if they're super razor blade, but again, it's a movie, it's a slasher film, it was a funny gag, it was a funny gore bit, so overall I did enjoy it. Again, the characters, I said they're average to mediocre. Like, the lead girl is fine. Although at times I'm like, that's not the girl from Streams 5 and 6, right? I swear sometimes some of these lead girls, like, they all look alike to me. I don't know what it is. Whether it be the girls in Stream 5 and 6, or this girl, or the girl in Evil Dead Rise. I don't know why they all kind of blend together for me. But her acting was fine, to be fair. Character was fine, but there was just nothing personality-wise that made me take notice. But it was fine. And again, they try to do this love triangle. It doesn't work. Because there's never a point where it feels like she doesn't like her current boyfriend at all. Which is crazy, because that's who she ends up staying with by the end. And I'm like, to jump ahead, you have the guy who's a nice guy, he's a little bit of a nerdy guy, and he's the current boyfriend, because the guy who had the pitching arm, who got his hand fucked up, he left a while, he comes back when he ditched her. There's really not a lot of conversations about what's going on here, other than fairly early on, the lead thinks that her current boyfriend may be the killer, and they're all kind of making him as such a red herring that you're like, okay, either it's going to be like Scream, and Steve Ulrich is a red herring, but lo and behold, he's a killer, or no, but that's rare that they do that, so no, he's not the killer. And then what's funny is that in the whole third act, he's nowhere to be found, and when everything's said and done, and when the old boyfriend saved her, the old boyfriend risked his life to save her, and he gets hurt, and he's going in the ambulance. The new boyfriend, the current, just shows up, hugs, and the last scene is them in bed. I'm like, that current boyfriend didn't do shit. He was such a non-entity presence in the third act. Should have dumped his ass for... There's like... What? The fact he's such a non-entity, the fact he disappears, he probably disappears to make the audience think that he's the killer, but at the same time, wouldn't you be like, where the fuck were you? What's going on? You weren't there for me? This guy was there for me? Even though he left for a year, he was still there for me more than you, and... There wasn't like... Hey, you know what? I really appreciate it. I do kind of like this guy. It's just more like off the cuff. Yeah, he's fine. Other than, even though, Fine, he's not the killer, but I don't have to like. I don't know what the fuck he said. It's just one of those weird. I know I'm jumping in, but it's one of those weird things. I go, what? Like the guy that saves her. Nah, I'm not. We're not going to get back together again. The guy who's a non-entity that disappeared. She's still with them, and they're in bed. And even though that guy didn't do jack shit, so that whole love triangle thing didn't go anywhere. Didn't really amount to much of anything. It just felt tacked on. But that's what I mean, though, is that when it's stuck with the characters, it's kind of like, But it doesn't feel too long until you get to the next kill scene, whether it be security guard, and those are, that's where Eli Roth does best in this. The kill scenes, Eli Roth does his best, directing in this movie. Whether it be the security guy who ran away during Black Friday, he gets his comeuppance, he gets a carving knife to the stomach, a really nice decap, nicely done, great practical effects. And the killer was nice enough to feed the cat. Didn't kill the cat, don't hurt the pussy, pussy didn't do anything, it looks at it, fed the cat, even petted it. I'm like, it makes me want to root for this killer more. Honestly, I'm like, let the killer win. Because the other characters are either so, it is, they're unlikable douchebags, or they're kind of fairly blank in their personality. I'm like, let the killer win. There's an asshole. They do the trampoline bit you saw in the old trailer. So the one asshole who was during Black Friday helped start the riot. He gets his head twisted in a 180. I'm like, does this guy have the power of Jason Voorhees? But he did. And then the knife in the trampoline, the girl lands on it. I thought she was going to land on her ass. I thought that'd be like... But they don't do that. I thought that was kind of interesting. You think if she landed... And you don't have to see anything, but you just get the kind of reaction from the audience. But they don't do that. I thought that was strange. It just lands on her foot, then her hand, then on her back when she lands. I'm like, why didn't they do that? Why didn't she do, I'm going to do this cheer and sit, and sits on the knife? Would that have really gotten fucked with the rating? I mean, if they did in the trailer... old trailer, so I don't know, I guess they thought, well, this way we could show a little bit more blood. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe that'd be labeled too misogynistic as, I'm like, it's her ass, but her pussy, whatever the fuck, I don't know. There's another scene they tamed down from the old trailer as well that I'm like, wow, okay. So there's gore, but at the same time, like, they did tame stuff back from the old trailer. I say the cheerleader death seemed a bit more violent in that old trailer. Oh, then jump ahead. Remember, like, you have the person that's cooked and they look like a turkey. That was much more grisly in the trailer. Here, it did not look as grisly. Maybe because Eli, I don't know. It looked a bit more tame. See other kills. There's a girl that get what you have for the popcorn, the corn holders. That gets put into her ears, so it fucks up her ears. She gets grabbed and put on a buzzsaw. Her intestines spill out. Get nice practical effects. The asshole who found everything, he gets his head bashed in. Good riddance. Nice effect. The parade scene, you do have the parade scene where the turkey mascot gets decapitated. You have this other really nasty, nice gory bit where there's a crash and someone gets their head impaled. Like this big wooden spike thing goes right through the person's head. And that made me cringe. Like, ooh, shit. Like, the gore is well done. I'll give you that. The death scenes, for the most part, very well done. Spoiler, you find out Patrick Dempsey's the killer because Gina Gershon was going to leave her husband for Patrick Dempsey. She was pregnant with Patrick Dempsey's kid. And yeah, I'm sitting there going, I kind of want to root for Patrick Dempsey here. I kind of want to root for him. Patrick Dempsey does fine. He does a good job. I do like him. I like him in films Run, Scream 3, among others. But man, how cool it would have been if it was Michael Biehn. I do wish in retrospect it was Michael Biehn. Like he was in the trailer. And then they set up a sequel bait ending because you have this bit, which I liked, where their old boyfriend helps her out, and you have this bit of a chase scene. The truck is stalled, it's caught in a chain. Patrick Dempsey comes out, there's this this balloon kind of being filled up with gas. The lead girl mentioned before how she learned how to load a musket. She does it, shoots, there's this nice explosion. But then they almost do the the My Bloody Valentine remake, where you get the idea that maybe the killer comes out as one of the firemen. I'm like, are you trying to do the My Bloody Valentine remake, Eli Roth? And then the last bit is the girl sleeping with her current boyfriend, who didn't do jack shit to help her in the third act, but still gets the girl. I don't know how the fuck that works. He didn't do fucking anything in the second half of the movie. He still gets the girl. I don't know. Again, I don't know how the fuck that works. This guy saved your life, but this guy didn't do shit. But he gets the girl. Okay. And then she has this nightmare where Dempsey on fire grabs her, then she wakes up. So she does wake up, so at least it does leave a question mark. Is he alive? Is he not alive? It's just that she's scared. After the fact, she'll have nightmares about it. They are doing a sequel, so obviously they're going along with that. Am I tears about the sequel? Sure. Rick Hoffman, again, I like that A, he didn't get killed off, B, that he became a better dad. He apologized to his daughter. He shuts down the store for the holiday. I do appreciate that. Wow. They didn't make him just a typical prick. They didn't kill him off. I like that actor. I wish they would have gone further and made him help his daughter in the third act. It was like a daughter's father combination instead of the old boyfriend that came back. Again, that would have made it a bit more unique, more different. And that's the thing. The kills are fun. The pacing's energetic. I've said this the 18th time. But I wish the characters were more interesting. I wish like their personalities were a bit more interesting. The dialogue was written a bit better. Get someone else instead of Eli Roth to write it. Again, the current boyfriend disappeared, being a non-entity, but he still gets the girl. Oh, I was mentioning the trailer, there's a third act bit where the killer gets the rest of the potential victims, puts them in this dinner table, tied up. The asshole stepmom of the lead girl gets cooked. And when she's served, it really didn't look that ghastly. Like, you see a quick bit in the Thanksgiving old trailer, and it's like, oh shit. Now, maybe that was one where if they did that, they could not get away with the rating. So here, she just looks a little bit extra crispy, and thankfully the killer was nice to have to leave her shorts on so that we don't see her private. So at least the killer was courteous for that. He was courteous to leave I'll kill her, I'll cook her, I'll even carve a little piece to serve to someone, but I'll make sure to leave her underwear, her shorts on, so can't be too indecent of exposure. But I think if you're with a group of friends, you want to see a fun, slasher film with some entertaining kills. That's not boring at all. That has a few gore dads and little bits here and there. I did like the one guy where he's hosting a party and some kids are trying to get in, and this guy's talking about how, Black Sabbath, and we thought things were over when Ozzy left, but then here comes Dio. And then at the end, the kids go, "What the hell is Black Sabbath?" And the guy goes, "Get the fuck away. Get the fuck off my property." So little bits here and there work. So I do have issues. I do have problems with the film. It's hard for me to give ratings on movies. Out of 5, I probably give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I probably would 3.5 out of 5. It's not. It's a lot better than Stream 6. It's a lot more fun than that. It's not like I said, the kills. I need more than kills in a movie today, but at least, like I said, the acting was fine. I like the extra pep in its step. It didn't feel like Eli Roth just sleepwalked in directing the movie. I just wish he had another writer to work on the script, on the dialogue. I wish maybe the actors could have been the leads. At least the lead characters give it a little bit more personality, a little bit more witty. You kind of miss like a Kevin Williamson touch or something else on the script. But overall, I liked it. It was fun enough. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.